There's a race?
Yeah, we'll get to that. It'll be funny. And you'll be like, are you really doing that? And I'll be like, yeah, I am. Anyway, we'll get there.
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just like everyone else. We'll get there.
We'll get there eventually.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
What episode are we?
I don't know. It's feeling old, but like 10?
10 weeks.
I'm pretty sure 10, yeah.
2 months.
Episode 10.
Episode 10. Welcome to episode 10.
Yeah, that's nutty. We're in the double digits now.
Episode 10, month 12. We are officially in December.
Yeah, it's the 5th, y'all. It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's podcast record night. And I hope y'all are doing good.
Do you have any birthdays in this month?
Ashley.
Ashley
just had her 21st birthday over the weekend.
Oh.
She apparently... so her birthday was, if I remember correctly, Sunday?
Okay.
Sunday. So she legally turned 21 at midnight on Saturday or Sunday morning.
Right.
So they got plowed before they left the house.
Oh, and then got her officials.
And then officials, 12 o'clock, hey, it's my 21st birthday. They went into Old Roseville and hit a bunch of places. And I saw some Snapchat stories.
Oh, boy.
Of a quite drunk Ashley.
Nice.
Quite drunk.
Would she normally drive the boys around?
She would. She would be the designated.
She's
yeah.
Designated, yeah.
Yeah, unless they were at home doing something funny. Yeah. But apparently before they left the Union, there was yakking taking place.
Hey, I got yak. Get it done.
I'm
no shame with yakking. Just get it done.
Hey, I have one thing to tell you.
Yeah.
I have never chucked from drinking. Not one time.
Yeah. I'm no stranger. I
get drunk.
Yeah.
You know. And then the buzz I enjoy for a while, and then I hit a certain point where the buzz is no longer fun, and I want to be done. And then I just stop drinking. I can't do it anymore.
So you've seen me. What happens with me is that my stomach says I'm done well before I feel or get the tinge.
Now wait a
of
second.
Being done.
What do you mean by your stomach says you're done?
I'll just check it.
You'll throw up?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So you get to throw up before you get drunk.
Right. Well, not drunk. That's not true.
Okay,
not
before you get really
before I hit a you should stop, unless I'm like proactively paying attention to the mundaneness of making sure you drink a water, pace yourself.
Right.
I will feel like there's a problem well after my stomach says you hit a limit way too far ago.
So if you're throwing all caution to the wind, and you just are going
right,
your stomach goes, I'm all done.
Before you'll see me stumbling around like a buffoon.
Okay. Huh.
And then it's back to start.
I'll be stumbling around like a buffoon.
Yeah. Well,
a silly ass
like if we
buffoon.
did Vegas, you know.
Yeah. But I don't. I have never been like, oh my God, the stomach's saying I got to get rid of all this. I've never had that. It's just been like, I'm drunk, I'm good, and then after some amount of time of being buzzed, my brain goes, I'm tired of this. This is getting old, and I'm all done. And then I don't drink anymore, and then it's just like my body just handles it.
Yeah, you have a sensible order to things.
Now, I also realized that I think my body has a normal aversion to throwing up anyway.
Oh.
Because I can count on 2 fingers the number of times I have thrown up since like I was 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was really, really sick both times. So there is something about throwing up, and I'm like largely vocal I'm not a happy camper when I'm like, some people are like, oh, I just threw up and
Yeah.
I'm happy. Woohoo. I'm not happy. My
You want no part of it.
I want no part of it. My body doesn't want any part of it. It's like, it's totally going against all of its rules to let this happen.
So oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. So I think I have a normal aversion to throwing up, and maybe that's part of it too. You know?
You're
So-
just smarter about it.
Yeah, that could be
We
too.
totally are off the rails.
Did we just start this podcast?
We did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, actually, we did have a discussion earlier.
Yeah.
It would be pretty fun from our standpoint, and possibly from a listener standpoint, if we did a drunk episode where we were just hammered. It's kind of like drunk history, but
Yeah.
drunk.
As
Sad
long as
Dad's
we had,
Club.
I think in order to drive something like that,
Yeah.
you need to have like a topic going into it so that you can just
Keep going.
keep going. Like if we were to try and hit multiple talking points.
No, it would have to be a single,
Yeah.
or it would just be. I think we would just go.
Ingress stories.
I don't think that we would have to have a topic.
Probably not. And that's the third time I was naked at Mahaney.
That's right.
And people would be like, what?
What?
Yeah. You thought that was just for portaling?
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no!
You know, I've hidden that slide that way before.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, come here, Toast.
Well, that's where Toast works on his abs, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Knob Creek ab workout.
yeah.
Yeah.
The 30-second Knob Creek ab
The
workout.
30-second Knob Creek ab workout where nothing comes out.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody listening knows, how is it possible to dry heave yourself into feeling better?
Dry heave sobriety. Hashtag dry heave sobriety.
I want to know this. And Toast,
Yeah.
if you're listening,
Yeah.
yes, we are making fun of you because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
some funny ass shit. Oh, man. Funny stuff. Anyway, so yeah, we're on episode 10. That's a great intro to the show.
It was, yeah.
Episode 10. I can't believe we're here, and I'm happy you're with us. I think Fu is too. Are you?
Yeah, I'm
Of course.
pleasantly contained in happiness.
He is very much contained. I'm going to go through the quick spiel. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, or you can get our shows directly from our website, saddadsclub.net. So if you can, subscribe, rate, and review. Tell your friends and some family members. Grow this thing. Help us grow this thing. It'd be great. We are getting out there. We're getting to people like I didn't even expect, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. I did set my dad up
Oh,
because we had talked about it at Thanksgiving,
yeah.
but he was kind of like in a precursory audience, not like I wasn't directly mentioning or telling him specifically about it. And he stopped by this weekend.
Oh, okay.
I'll elaborate on that. But I set him up, and I'm like, listen to it, Dad. You know, here, it's all done on your phone.
Yeah. I'm almost in fear of the people that may be listening.
Yeah.
But you can find us on Facebook also, facebook.com/saddadspodcast. You can hit us up on Twitter at saddadspodcast, or you can email us, which we enjoy seeing email. saddadsclubpodcast@gmail.com. So
Comments in any of those places, we are doing our best to read them both, and we're going to tie in some of the email stuff, I think, in our D block.
yeah,
Really,
absolutely.
really good show, I
Yeah.
think. Tonight.
So what did we talk about in the last show? Just circling back. Cyber Monday,
Oh, yeah.
Black Friday.
Yeah, yeah. I went over the same conversation with my dad.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of like, yeah, you know.
That's where
He's
I'm
like,
at.
I'm not really into it either anymore. But he does remember it being more about the catalogs.
Yeah, it just seems like it's sort of almost, in my opinion, depending on who you are, a little bit of a bygone kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's so much hype around it that it's not as good as the hype.
Yeah, I would agree.
In my anyway, so that's kind of where I'm gonna leave it at.
Yeah.
So we'll just get right into the weekend stuff. So what'd you do? What'd you got? Have anything good?
So I worked Saturday.
Boo!
I know it was an early morning, and then early morning of work, and then in the evening we went and saw Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh yeah, I want to see that.
Took whole family. It was good. I'm not so sure it was better than the first one, but it was still really good. I enjoy the Disney stuff that's got the adult threads in there if you can pick them out.
Yeah.
And it's still enjoyable and fun for the kids. Yeah. Had a good time. Had a lot of laughs. There was a lot of like meme stuff in there. It was funny. Realizing in hindsight that in their giant like ways of describing what the internet is like once they get there, there's, how do you tap dance around porn?
I hadn't even considered that to be part of the show.
Yeah, and I went, oh, wait. Because, they do some stuff to scale, right? So they've got little things for Amazon and pop-up blockers and Google, and they all are kind of represented by these, like, but these buildings in size relative to, so there's Twitter is represented by little birds and whatnot.
Okay.
But, like, somewhere... I guess it would be the dark web stuff, but they skip around it.
Okay.
It's pretty funny. Anyway.
So is it actually semi sort of talked about?
No.
Oh,
not even close. They talk more about viruses and stuff, but I suppose
that would make sense. I mean, this is really a kid's
it's still
film,
Disney.
Right?
And they nailed a bunch of stuff that was really, really funny. Like their stuff about the Disney princesses and, it was good. It was really funny. And there was a bunch of like typical stuff like in Disney movies where like there's a character that you don't expect to be funny but just shows up out of nowhere and is like I identify with that guy. That's funny.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really good.
I think my wife and daughter went and saw it while she was here for Thanksgiving.
Oh, really?
And I wanted to see it. They were going to go I think they were going to go see the Nutcracker, and for some reason they didn't go see the Nutcracker. There was another party involved, a friend of theirs, and they went and saw Wreck-It Ralph, which I was kind of bummed because I would have gone and saw it with them had they not had plans with somebody else.
I don't know if it was because, at the amount of 4 people going, and we saw it at 7 o'clock, it was like literally a $64 plus like thing.
You got to go on Tuesday.
Well, or catch the early show on a Sunday. Anyway, I hadn't thought about it, but I don't know if it's necessarily
worth it.
Worth that? If you could catch it on a bargain day, I probably would catch it.
Well, what did we just went and saw? Okay, so at Sunrise Mall,
oh boy.
There's a theater still in there.
Really?
And it's like a bargain theater.
Mm-hmm.
I think we paid $3 to go see. What movie was that? While Melanie was here, her and Shannon and I went and saw something. It was $3 per person.
I mean, it's not like catch it on a Pico projector bargain in some dude's closet. Good. It's better than that, but at the same time, probably not an XD $14 ticket kind of viewing need.
Is that what you did? Was XD?
That was because that was the showing that was available without having to and I wanted to get out of the house and do something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see it at some point, I'm sure.
So then Sunday, Venus she ran a relay for the California International Marathon. So she did that all day. And then when she got home, Piper went to cheer her with a bunch of her girls that all do the Kaya Fitness here locally. Venus is part of that. So they all had
all the partners were Kaya Fitness girls?
Yeah, and Piper got up early with Venus, and she went down there to cheer with them and whatnot. So
you went down too?
I did not. I stayed home with Xander because Xander would not find that entertaining in the slightest.
Yeah, it's cold.
I ran out of batteries, Dad. Let's go.
Yeah.
So it's not worth the time to
make that struggle. To see Mom run by.
Yeah.
For like 5 seconds. There she goes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that ended up
would
turning into apparently the rest of her squad was trying to convince her that next year she should do a full marathon.
Oh.
I think Monday.
It is a full marathon.
Yeah, but she did like a relay. So
She
I
did a
think
quarter.
She did like a 5-mile chunk
Okay.
of it.
Did they win?
They finished.
Did anybody drop the baton?
No, I don't think so. So they tried to convince her to do full.
Okay.
Dropping soap.
Uh-huh.
Dropping and I think that was Monday or Tuesday, somewhere in the middle of the week.
Is she interested in doing it?
Well, she was in the kitchen, and she's like, "All the girls, they're trying to get me to do the marathon."
Oh.
And I go,
That
"I'll
peer
do it.
pressure, man.
I'll do it. Let's go. Let's do it."
Oh, my
and so
God.
Piper's sitting at the table. She's like, "I'll do it." So right there, then Venus was behind the
Suddenly
eight
you've
ball.
got a
Yeah.
you've
So
got
then
a quorum.
She's like, "Oh, God damn it." She's like sending things to her girls. Like, my husband just said he'd do it.
Not
and
only was there
Piper's
peer
like,
pressure from the girls, but then suddenly the whole family got in.
So
on
now
it.
now her daughter's like, "I'll do it, whatever. Let's throw her down." And so Venus is just like, damn it. So daughter pretty much effectively called out, and so now we're all doing it. Well, minus Ender.
Yeah.
So see you in December next year. I'll be running 26.2 0 to marathon. And I've run it once before when I was 20.
The same one.
Same one. And we were talking about
Zero desire to do that.
We were talking about when I did it at that age, and I think at the time, in between, I think it was living in Auburn, but we had just come off of like living in Chico, and I was doing tons of mountain biking. I was doing like mountain biking, running.
Super fit already.
Yeah. And while I hadn't been training for a marathon, my friend did it and was like signed up. I'm like, well, I'll do it, whatever. And it was just pure youth powered idiocy.
Right.
Like I had no training. I hadn't been running that kind of distance in years. Like I did cross country in high school, but not 20 plus miles. So this was just like, let's do it to do it.
Did you hit walls?
Oh, tons of times.
Yeah.
But finished it
Yeah.
and never did another one. I was more like a triathlon, duathlon kind of guy where you could stack up the... Anyway. So, we'll see if...
You got to go do Ironman next.
40-plus-year-old me can outdo 20-year-old me.
Now, a good friend of mine, Tony,
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned him to you before. He started doing marathons, and it was like the running for him is kind of an addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Very much into it. Did marathons, and he's been to the Boston Marathon, and he's done the St. George Marathon. So he's very much into that.
Right.
Well, that's not enough. So he's also done the century runs, like the Squaw Valley, Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Western States 100?
Yes.
I
Tahoe
paced
Rim
for that. Yeah.
The Tahoe Rim one? No.
Oh, yeah.
24 plus hours of running, or
That's hard.
that's
hard.
tough.
We were talking about how I think when Venus we're getting out of the car for Saturday before she was going, and I made a joke about make sure to. Or she was going through her checklist, like, okay, I got to make sure that. And I go, yeah, don't forget to tape your nipples.
Exactly.
Which isn't necessarily a problem for women so much as it is because when
Right.
I ran it.
Well, it's the movement of the shirt.
The shirt
Yeah.
on mine, I had the next day. My boobs were so raw. It hurt so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. Anyway, Piper was like, what? I'm like, oh, yeah. Guys, you need
Bleeding.
if you're not an active and long-distance endurance runner, you don't just jump into something that far with a shirt like that. You will. It hurts.
It becomes like sandpaper.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if I haven't talked to Tony about this in a long time, but I don't know if you get callous or if he has to treat himself prior to every run.
Like some Astroglide and a thing.
And he's got sponsors, man. He's like sponsored by Brooks. He's getting shoes
there you
and
go.
stuff like that. And I think at one point he was even Power Bar was sending him stuff. I don't know. But I mean, he's, it's. Oh yeah. logically, it just doesn't make sense to me.
There's you pick a study. There are multiples where the endorphin releases from, if you're prone to your body composition or get stuff from the release of running, running high. Absolutely, those are tangible things. I believe those.
What was the other thing that he's done? He lives in Lincoln.
Yeah.
All of the kids went through the specific junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
And when Lincoln went through its real big financial crunch after the first bubble burst, housing market, they were cutting stuff like crazy. And one of the things that got cut really bad was funding for athletic programs and stuff like that at the junior high level.
Right.
So Tony, being the runner that he is, organized this 24-hour run where he literally ran the track for 24 hours to raise money with a bunch of other people that ran to raise money, people pledging and whatnot. But he ran for 24 hours around the track, and just...
baller.
Oh, he is. It's nuts.
Good for him, though.
Yeah. I want to see you do that. You're next.
Yeah, right.
I'll call him and get you guys hooked up, and you guys can run it together.
We'll see what happens. So my dad then also was down a couple times over the weekend. He had like pop-up issues with his... He went to some site, USA Today or something, and ended up with... Yeah.
That's what he's claiming?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe him this time because I ended up going there, and it was like such trash. I'm like, well, the short explanation here, Dad, is that someone has compromised wherever you're getting your news, and the Chrome browser pop-ups is just not cutting it, and so just stop going there. So I set him up with like an AP News Sports thing.
Yeah.
Like just I don't. It's bad. It's such a pain in the ass. Pop-ups.
So were you not able to get it cleaned off?
Oh yeah, I was. But then I think Monday or two he brought it back down, and was like,
"What?
This is what it's doing it again."
A PC laptop?
Yeah.
Windows?
Yeah. Like
now you have to tell him he has to get a Mac.
Yeah. Just it sucks so.
Here's
bad.
a MacBook Air, Dad. Just trust me.
Such a pain.
You won't ever have that problem on your Mac.
No pop-ups on the Mac?
No. I've never had that problem.
I'll get him an iPad.
Yeah, well,
Put it on a monitor.
Hope he stops going to that crusty USA Today website.
Crusties. So nasty. That was my weekend. Tech support, marathon, sign up, Wreck-It Ralph.
That's not bad.
Yeah. What do you got?
I didn't do a whole lot. We put Christmas lights. I mentioned that last show.
Right.
We had a strand that had right at the plug, you could tell, just move it a little bit and the lights would flicker. So got another strand from my father-in-law, basically a brand new set that had never been put up. Swapped all the lights and the hanger bits all off the old set to the new set. And hung it, fixed that, got that going.
No problems with brightness disparity?
No, they look exactly the same. It's awesome. So I did that. That was one thing. And then I have a Civic. And
oh, yeah. When you left here.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were being funny.
It was, no. That was, so.
Like, what is that?
The Civic had an alternator go dead in it. And I replaced it myself, which is not hard, but that alternator that I replaced the original one with died. So then I had to go get another alternator and replace it. Ever since the second time, I've had problems with belt tensioning on the car, to the point to where I think I've had because in the way this car is, the motor set up is. The power steering pump sits on top of the alternator.
Okay.
So you cannot tension the alternator without removing the power steering pump.
Oh, that's a pain.
So you got to remove the power steering pump to get to the alternator to tension the belt. And the other thing that belt runs is not only just the alternator, but also the AC compressor.
Mm-hmm.
So if that belt breaks, you have no alternator and no AC. Super bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that belt, I've had a problem with it squealing. I've replaced it and tensioned it, and it was, when I got in there this weekend, it was loose. Like, it was really loose. So I just took my time, and the tensioner for it is a wing nut. And the wing nut is buried down in the car on the alternator. And it's really hard to get your hand in there.
Oh, that's what you were asking.
Yeah,
for the...
it's hard to get your hand in there with hand strength enough to get that thing tensioned properly.
Right.
So I had to go get one of those
Gator grips.
Yeah, Gator grip socket, which worked pretty good.
Yep.
And got enough extra turns on it with that I think I got it tensioned good enough that it's been fine ever since. I haven't had any problems.
Yeah, I think I bought my Gator grip, I think when I was
TM.
looking to put up hooks.
Oh, yeah.
Or eyelets.
Yep.
And I'm like...
Get them started and then ratchet them.
I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that thing does
I
it.
wish I had that like years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've had times where I've put some eyelet, like cup hooks and stuff in that like you just can't get them to turn.
And they're like the
You're
tiny little, like...
Yeah, wrecking your thumb.
Piss me off.
So that worked really well, and I got the belt fixed, and it seems to be good.
Holding it?
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing, like, leaving work, because even with the compressor turned off, that thing would squeal. So I'd start the car with the compressor turned off, and it would squeal for a bit if I stepped on the gas at all. So driving out of the parking lot was like, yeah, all the way out of the parking lot, and I was just like, sorry.
Homeless
And then
Jim.
I just have to like gas it until it gets hot enough that it catches. And once the motor warmed up, it was usually fine.
Yeah.
But it was getting worse every day, and I finally said, and I hate doing the job that I had to do to fix it because I've done it several times, and so I wasn't looking forward to it at all. I just got in there and did it and got it done, and it's great now. So
there you go.
Woohoo!
Loctite on
I'm not a mechanic.
Wing nut.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucker.
Yeah. Well, the next thing is that car just needs a bunch of work. I just drive too much. I put way too many miles on that car.
Yeah, but it's a tank.
Yeah, it just keeps going. But I need to replace the power steering pump itself. It needs I got to replace both the control arms. There's bushings that need to be replaced in the suspension. Ball joints, whatnot, or not ball joints, but whatever they're called. Can't think of it right now. And the heater core is bad, which is I got to do that really soon.
Yeah, because it's getting cold.
Well, I get some heat off of it, but it's like it must be like a pinhole because it sprays
fluid.
I think it's just steam. Because it fogs up the windows. But what's really bad, I think, is that I'm breathing that crap. That's even the worst part.
Right. You're going to get a tumor.
Or die.
Right.
I mean, you want to kill a cat?
Well.
Give it some Prestone.
Yeah.
They love it. Yeah. Sorry.
Antifreeze?
Sorry, cat lovers.
Antifreeze?
Yeah. There's something in it. It's like glucose
Glycol?
Glycol. That's it.
It's the stuff they put in...
it'll kill you dead.
What is that? The vapes.
Is that what's in vapes?
I thought it was. It's one of those ingredients. Remember we had that discussion with toast. Like it was a big old thing that was one of the ingredients to make it one of the fragrances or the tastes. Like glycol, some glycol.
That stuff's really bad for you. I think what it does is it doesn't, your body doesn't purge it, and so it builds up.
I have to look at what it was. Remember, I put that article in there and was like, "Yo, are any of your juices got this stuff in it?" Because
I do recall that. Yeah. Yee. Well, anyway, I got to fix the heater core. That's a huge job. Apparently, that's about an 8-hour job, and I might have to have Mike help me because
that's a good one.
Yeah, I you got to tear the dash out and. I'm not sure that I could do that on my own. A little bit scary. The actual replacement of the heater core is very easy.
It's just getting it all
Just
out
getting to it.
and then getting to it.
Yeah. So, anywho. So, moving on. So, weekend stuff was fine. But what do we got now? Oh, yeah, that's right. Today, this week, we're going to do funny, embarrassing, noteworthy personal stories.
Okay.
You want to go start? Or
I'll start because I'm not sure. Yours looked like it had more potential. And mine was more noteworthy than funny.
I'm kind of, we're data's tonight. And so my story involves him, which...
so now there's no shame. You're like...
I'm letting it all... No, it's...
hanging him out to dry.
It's actually kind of a touching story.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll let you go first.
Okay.
You go for it.
So mine is, and I tweeted about it before the show started, because I wanted to make sure that it was legit and people didn't think that I was making it up.
Okay.
So
do I need to go look this tweet up while you're talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have a zombie plan.
What?
Years and years ago, like, you know how we've been talking.
You're not shitting me right now.
I am not shitting you.
Like, you think this is going to happen?
I think, me being me, and it was probably after watching some post-apocalyptic thing, but it goes back further than that. I just generally am open to making sure that I was prepared for the potentiality of end of world scenario. So I actually made a doc where I included things like I just kind of brainstormed things that I would put in or need to do on my way out in the case of a zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
And so I took a screenshot of how old the doc was, and I tweeted it out. It is 2013. So I have legitimately been concerned or put into writing something of my plans for zombie apocalypse.
Okay, so while we're doing the show, while you're talking, I'm going to go ahead and share this.
Okay.
On the Sad Dad's Twitter.
There you go.
All right.
So, and I talked with Venus about it. We like what would happen. So you get the alert on your way home. Like, what do you do and where do you go? What are the things that are most important that you would need to be concerned about, but also what would you, what am I going to need weeks, months down the road? Can I be proactive about that?
Okay.
And so that's my list of like stuff. Something that I had made like the obvious list, like gasoline, ways to, medical supplies, probably some way to defend yourself, gun, ammunition, food, things that don't spoil, stuff like that, a backpack, where would you go if you needed to make sure that you were in a defensible position place, that kind of thing.
Right.
So all of those were easy. Somewhere probably after having kids, something that I had put on the list that I hadn't thought about was contraception.
Oh.
Right? Imagine you're in a place where you're think like Waterworld or you're Walking Dead, and you don't have ladies with the ability to have a pill, a birth control pill, that like knocks out the pregnancy concern.
Yeah.
And no one's walking around with handfuls of condoms. So how do you prevent runaway pregnancies? Certainly, you're probably not in any capacity able to stop that from happening. Sexual relations.
Right.
So what do you do? How do you population control? Serious concern.
Well, I think if you have a zombie apocalypse,
right,
that's your population control.
Right. Well, in the short term, long term, if you're holed up and you're trying to manage a defensible thing, and you've got a 40, 50, 100 person camp, how do
so
you...
you're trying to say that you don't want to have babies?
You don't want to be caught off guard, right? If you're in a thing where you could be like, what was that? Red Dawn. Think Red Dawn. Think
Right.
less zombie, more like Red Dawn.
Okay.
Right? The original Patrick Swayze cool one.
Yeah.
Not whatever the remake one was.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't necessarily want to be always in a state of awareness, and then all of a sudden you've got pregnancies. And none of you are medical doctors. Most of you are goofball techs, copy repairmen, car mechanics.
Well, the caveman did it, right? I mean,
Sure, but if you're fighting for your life, I think it's different.
and I think that you're gonna be any person whom you're gonna be hole up with,
Right.
is probably quite a bit smarter than a caveman.
Probably
Knows quite a bit more about the whole process than any caveman
but
ever would.
penis and vagina.
Yeah.
I try and tell everybody.
Are you trying to say you can't control yourself?
No, I'm saying I can't control anybody else.
Oh,
Right?
I see.
So you would, in order to, at least on a please don't get us in trouble kind of thing, right? Anyway, so a thing that I hadn't considered,
Yeah.
it probably until post being a dad, was like, well, you certainly wouldn't, if you were fighting for your life in a Red Dawn type of situation, you wouldn't necessarily want to have to be dealing with enemies and
A baby.
babies.
Yeah, that's a 9-month scenario, though. I mean, that's
Right. But the emotional and logistical of have and then not,
right.
or right, focus,
Okay.
all that stuff. Anyway.
Huh. That's an interesting thought. I hadn't.
Right.
considered.
So I have my noteworthy thing was that I have an actual zombie plan.
Okay. That's
That's my thing.
pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Now, the zombie plan isn't necessarily just for zombies.
No, it was like an end of days
Yeah.
get out, like an emergency preparedness type of thing.
Well, I think back to being in high school and working.
Right.
And there were times I remember driving to work and thinking to myself, I'm going to work and I'll be away from my family or whatever.
Right.
What if while I'm at work, the United States gets hit with thermonuclear
Right.
weapons?
Right. Okay.
That would be crazy and fucked up.
Right.
And but so it's not like, it was such a prevalent thing that it was something that creeped into your conscious.
Yeah.
And so I could see, yeah.
What was the other movie?
That's
Elijah Wood, not Armageddon, Deep Impact, the one with Bruce Willis and they, right? You're in a scenario where you've got to get away from the coast or low-lying area, and you are, what do you do? Are you capable of, do you know what would happen?
Yeah, that's prepper thing, right?
Right.
Basically.
Right. And which is funny,
Yeah.
because the whole me being an IT guy and totally wrapped up in the lunacy that was Y2K. Like,
Oh, yeah.
this is a joke.
The world's going to end.
Yeah, this is a joke. The guys with the cans and the canned food and all that stuff. And it was like, I'm ready to go. I got to, trip out here to Boise where I'm going to hole up and be good because you're all you computer guys.
You screwed us.
Whatever.
And the world's going to end.
But relative to actually happening at the time, I was like, come on, get real. Take your tinfoil hat off and put on the real stuff.
Right.
But in hindsight, now I'm like, okay, well, you take out the silliness that was the computer is going to kill us kind of thing, and you do, a nuclear threat. an invasion of some sort,
Yeah.
a viral outbreak.
Yeah, those are the things
What
that
would you, if
worry
you
me.
were to take it seriously?
Yeah.
What would you do? Where would you go? And what are the things that are like the top of your list of things that you would want to make sure that you had to protect you and your family, or ways that you would know how to get in communication with you and your family?
I mean,
if you
you
were
got
disconnected.
a pretty good yard back there. You could put in your own, dig a giant hole and,
Dig a hole. I would not dig a hole out here. Are you kidding me? I've dug holes out here, right? I would get out of here as fast. I would head up to my dad. Like, get high. I would go to Donna's house. Hi, Donna.
yeah.
Hashtag hi, Donna.
Yeah.
Made the podcast.
She did.
She did.
Crazy cat lady.
The crazy cat lady.
Well, that's pretty interesting. I can't believe you actually. I'm looking at this picture and I see this picture. It says "zombie plan."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And
pretty crazy.
I had to make sure I took a picture of it because I didn't want the date, the timestamp to change. So I
Right.
took my screenshot of its age and that it was actually a thing before I opened it back up to look at it.
That's pretty funny.
Pretty funny.
Yep, there it is. Zombie plan. From 2013.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
What do you got? What's
All right.
yours? What's your heartfelt datas?
So, kids are growing up. They're little. They're in grade school, and
Okay.
back then, we did a lot of reading to them. And I personally have never been a big reader because I think I don't know. I can't have a hard time concentrating on books and not letting my mind drift, blah, blah, blah. So I just never have been a big reader.
Okay.
So aside from that, as the kids are getting older in grade school, we're always reading to them at night. And so my wife has been reading a book to Chandler, and we had been trading off, but she knew she had read this book already, and I have never read it.
Okay.
I had never read it, but she knew what was coming. So she decided this one evening to opt out. Well, the book is Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh, no.
And so I climb in bed with Chandler, and I'm reading him the end of this book, which I don't have any idea is coming.
Oh, boy.
And spoiler alert, old Dan dies. Right?
Yeah.
And okay, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't, I'm not,
You hadn't read it. You weren't connected. You didn't know the context per se.
Okay, a little upset. It's a dog. The dog dies. That's
Right.
great. Okay, that's sad. And Chandler was pretty affected by that because, he'd sat there and listened to the whole book, and that's fine. So he was a little upset by that. Of course, I was a little upset because now he's a little upset. So we're both kind of having our moment at the end of this book, and so it's like, all right, okay, we're all done. I'm out of here.
Right.
Good night, kind of thing. So fast forward to the next day after work, come home, and I don't know, we piled in the car to go run some errands or go get dinner or something.
Right.
And I am literally backing the car out of the garage and down the driveway where I hear, right behind me is where Chandler typically sits.
Okay.
I hear,
Oh, no.
and I'm just like, dude, what is up with you? Are you okay? And he goes, oh, Dan's dead.
Oh, no, it hit him.
Oh, man, he was crying the next day in the car about old Dan dying. And we still chuckle about that because it's funny now.
Yeah, it's good feels. Though.
Sad, yeah. But a good feel good.
Yeah.
He was upset. He was sad. That
You know,
old Dan.
it's funny you mentioned that because Xander, when he was young, like sub 5, he when we would give him a bath, when we would let out the water, he would cry because he would miss the water. Like to the point where it's like, what? The water?
He got attached to it while he was sitting in it.
Would have so much fun in the tub.
The water's going
The water
away.
was his friend, and he didn't know. I mean, it was so weird, but yet you couldn't help like, oh wow, that is sad. Like I'm sad because you're so
sad.
You're legitimately sad. about the water going down the drain.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, and for the longest time, it was like, I don't know, should we just give him a shower? Does he not care about the water?
If it just pours off of him?
Right,
Yeah.
right. It was like, there was like an awkward period. It was like, I don't want to give him a bath because I don't know how I'm going to approach like...
The water thing.
You know, the water will be back tomorrow, son. It's okay.
We can fill it again tomorrow.
Right, and a lot of... that may be verbatim what we had said a number of times. Like, it's okay. We'll put more water in it tomorrow, and it'll be okay.
Yeah, trust me.
Boy, that he is in touch with his feels,
yeah.
And he was very sad to see the water go down the drain.
I'll be thinking about that tomorrow morning when I'm showering, getting ready for work.
Bye, water.
Oh my God.
See you later.
That water was on me, and now it's going down the drain.
What's going on the drain? He was such a
That's funny.
In touch young man.
That's great. I like that story.
Yeah.
You had 2 stories.
Well, it tied with yours.
That's true.
They roped together.
That's cool. I really enjoy those stories, but yeah, old Dan. What the funniest part to me is that it was the next day. So he had gone through a whole day of school.
Yeah.
And was just in the car thinking about it.
Did you ever, well, you probably didn't read them because you don't have an affinity to read, the Harry Potter series?
What is it?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm kidding.
You fucking with me.
I know what the Harry Potter series is, people.
Did you read it?
No, I don't.
Did Shan or Melly or...
They're not in Harry Potter at all. I like the movies.
Let's see. What's the closest thing for that for so Destiny, the Xbox game, PC, PS4. The writing in there for one of the characters that we play with, that's like your mentor, so to speak. They killed that character in the latest expansion.
Oh.
And the way that they tell it, right? Xander, another like sad
What do you mean?
Right. I don't want him to die. I really like Kate. That's Venus. She got a little teary-eyed right. So it's I don't feel like you see that a lot so much anymore because I don't think people are reading as much. Like the stories being told so well that you have that kind of connection with the characters.
Right. Well, plus in a video game, aren't you kind of being that person, or
no?
They're with you or whatever.
They're a pretty keystone part of the characters in this, but they're not. They're not your buddy or a sidekick. But they're active to the narrative.
Okay.
But not always with you. But the way that they intertwined it with your story, and then they killed him, it got everyone in the house like, man. But you don't see, and from a video game no less. So the story writing, ask him, when was the last time you read something that had you so attached to characters? Harry Potter, for the kids, and it was probably like the last thing that may have come around. Piper just read a book series where she was legit attached to the characters and sad to see the series end.
Yeah,
but you don't.
Melanie had some of that. There's a couple series that she was into where she was hardcore
you have to go seek these things out. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of certainly TV shows like characters.
I think for young tween girls, there's probably a lot of it.
Oh yeah,
I would imagine.
Not Twilight.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Bella.
Yeah.
Check out my sparkle vampire boyfriend.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. I mean, Melanie has I think a couple different series of books at home still that she read quite a bit of.
Yeah.
But I was just I could never concentrate on the reading. I'm one of those people. I could be reading, and then my mind would wander while I'm reading, and I'd be thinking about something else.
Yeah.
And my eyes are still reading the words, but I'm not taking them in because I'm thinking about something else. And then oh my gosh, what? And then I realized I've just read a page,
But
then
no
I have to-
comprehension, no.
and I don't know anything
Yeah.
that just happened, so I have to go back and reread it again.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can see in that process.
It would make reading tedious.
It
and
is.
unfun. Yeah.
I was one of the kids who I remember in 6th grade. They do the readathon things, and they had the big chart up on the wall that had everybody's name in the class, and for every book
Right.
that you read, you got a star, and I would have like maybe a star, maybe, and I just
I read a Hardy Boys book. I'm good.
I just really struggled with wanting to read just because it was always a big pain in the ass.
Now, if you stick to audiobooks, though,
I just did.
yeah.
Just finished a audiobook. I really enjoy audiobooks for that reason, because it's almost like a podcast.
Right.
I just listened to the entire Beastie Boys book, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I was a little sad when I got to the end,
Oh,
and I teared up. And old Dan wasn't even in that book.
fucking dogs.
Yeah. There was a dog in the book.
Oh, and the Beastie Boys?
Yeah.
Well, there you
They
go.
talked about a
There's
dog.
there's your tie-in.
Yeah. But, that's something I would recommend highly to everybody.
The Beastie Boys?
The Beastie Boys book.
I have it. I haven't started it yet.
Oh, it's good stuff. It's good. It answered every question I ever had about the Beastie Boys.
Didn't?
Yeah. Because it's told from it's their story.
Yeah.
And the Audible book,
Minus the one guy that has passed.
yeah. The Audible guy book is read by so many different celebrities. It's very interesting. Keeps it interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So, what do we got for the D block?
So I think I spawned this off of the JHEFs.
JHEF?
Right.
What's
So
up, JHEF?
we were talking about smoking things.
Yes.
So I actually tweeted another.
Not crack.
Yeah.
Or weed or
Yeah.
whatever. We're talking about food smoke.
Food smoking.
Smoking food.
So this goes back to because we had lightly touched on smoking the bacon.
Uh-huh.
So I figured I would start with the thing that, like my original source for smoking. And that was we had you got them at Kmart. And they were called Little Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a bent foil aluminum thing with like a small heating element with a pan that you use to make smoke.
Okay.
So I don't remember if my dad bought me my first one, and this goes back probably 2000-ish when we had moved back here from Charlotte. I had dabbled with stuff, but I had always had an affinity. I love smoked cheese. Love smoked cheese. And my dad had got me this, I'm pretty sure he did, got me this Little Chief smoker, and it was because they're so easy to use, the temperature is always dialed in. You could do anything in this thing.
You could do no wrong.
So much utility, you can't mess it up.
Not adjustable heat.
No, it's just on or off.
Okay.
Chuck your chips in the pan.
Electric.
Yeah. Chips in the pan, ready to go. Replacement elements. I never went through one, but you could buy a new one and be fine. What was cool about this Little Chief smoker was that when you opened it, you were supposed to keep the box. So it's a tower, right? It's like a 3 foot, 4 foot, 3 foot or so tower. You keep the box that it came in, because what you do is you can put like dowels in the box, and in order to smoke cheese, so that you don't nuke the cheese from the
heat
of the smoke.
Sure.
The size of and length of the cardboard box, you take the lid off the smoker, and you set the box with the grates inside the cardboard on top of the tower, and by the time the smoke got from the element to the top of the cardboard box,
It's cooled enough.
it was a cold smoke,
Yep.
and you could do cheeses. So it was, as long as you could keep the box intact, that's how you could cold smoke cheeses without having to have some fancy thing. And it was all in one. You kept your cold box tower.
Right.
You put your smoker away. It was all the same. So as long as you took care of it, you got super longevity out of it.
All right.
So when we were talking about smoking stuff last week, it triggered a memory. I can't remember what happened to my box. So I ended up making one. And that's the pictures that got essentially inspired from Jeff.
Oh, okay. The other Twitter
Right.
photos that are up there.
So I made a cold smoke tower box to put on top of my little Chief. I ended up giving it to my uncle. God, so much
That's pretty
mileage.
cool.
So much mileage out of that thing. Same height,
Yeah.
just replace the cardboard box
with the wood box.
with the wood box.
that had holes in it for dowels and
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and set that on top of the little Chief. So if you're someone that's looking to get into smoking, they're cheap too. Tons of utility. To save your box.
Save your box. Yeah,
save your
don't throw it
box.
away.
And I've been through. So I started with the little Chief, and then I did my share of like charcoal. I had one of those like side by side off heat, like big iron tub
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah.
Where I did like wood fire smoking, indirect heat kind of thing. And then now I have like the fancy one that I have that has like the moving biscuits, like
Yeah.
it pushes biscuits out.
Yeah, it's a Bradley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't use the biscuit. I'm like, oh, that's too much mechanical garbage for me.
Really?
So I can buy the biscuits. Essentially, it's the same. They're generally all the same. So it has. I buy wood chips from Walmart.
Yeah.
The cherry, apple, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just set them in there on the element,
Uh-huh.
and I'm done with it.
Okay.
I'm like, that's fine. If I wanted to buy the, the biscuits, the dust biscuits, I
Yeah.
can just set those on there and be fine too, and I just knock them off when I'm done. But in order to do, that's where I'm at now.
Okay.
God, and I smoke everything.
Yeah.
I've smoked.
So well, you've kind of taught me some. I'd always wanted to have a smoker. I had tried smoking stuff in like my grill, and it just didn't, nothing ever retained enough smoke to actually make a difference in the food. And I had a little smoke box I'd put in the grill, and that never worked out. And so I always wanted one. And I don't know, we were at an Ingress function, and you'd brought some of your Jesus bacon.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how you smoked it, and that's what piqued my interest in, you have a smoker. What kind of smoker do you have? And so I don't have, you have a Bradley.
Right.
And I bought a, what did I get? Oh, Master grill, Master, shoot, I can't even think of what the name it is.
But it probably has does it have like a
It's
cooking
similar-
element and the smoking element?
It's similar to yours.
It's probably the same thing, just a different
Almost.
name.
It doesn't have the biscuits. It uses just the chips.
Yeah.
And it has what's really cool, what I like about this one is it has a side loader. You put your chips in this like handle thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
And then you stick it in the side.
Turn it.
And turn it, and it
dumps.
dumps them. And what's cool about that is you don't have to open the box.
Right.
And let the heat out. And
Right.
so that takes more time to cook because now you're letting the heat
Right.
out. And so I really like that aspect of it. Now, yours would do that if you just use the biscuits, right?
Right, it would keep it contained.
Yeah.
I have to open the front
To put chips in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has a heating element too.
Yeah.
So if I'm having to go in and out of it, I'll just turn the heating element on so that temperature gradient isn't so spiky bottom as much as.
Yeah, so this one, it's the same. It has a heating element, and I bought the extra cold smoke option.
Mm-hmm.
So where the little cylinder goes in where you dump the chips in,
Mm-hmm.
it connects to that hole,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then you put the chips in the just the smoker element, and then it just pushes cold smoke into the box.
There you go. Yeah.
And that works really well too.
Yeah.
But ever since there's stuff that you smoke that I would have never thought about smoking.
I love that. See, to me, it's part. There's like a behavioral thing. Like I enjoy being outside. It's an
Right.
ambiance thing, like a memory trigger for me. I camping, campfires, like getting away, being detached from like just like urban.
Right.
So that the smell of smoke for me is like it's another one of those like this my shrine, my temple things. Like it helps me like level out and center.
Yeah.
The culinary, if I were to say get fancy, the culinary side, I enjoy the taste and the complexity that doing smoking adds to all kinds of stuff, all kinds of different types of foods that you wouldn't think does something.
Right.
And I think the side benefit is it requires you to put less in your food.
Right.
We've done stuff where, I love my aunt's trail mix, but if you ever made your own like from scratch trail mix, you know the ludicrous amount of butter that's in that. And
Right.
while I am not saying butter is bad,
Or granola.
right,
Right.
it's a lot. And I, a lot of times, would not be able to stop myself. And then you're paying for it because when that butter comes back through, ooh-wee.
Yeah.
But when you can make something that tasty, so I will make like a trail mix and then smoke it without the extra salt, extra fats. So there's a time and place for anything. I'm not saying
Sure.
that's bad. But I enjoy the opportunity to twist something for taste without having to add salt or something that I may regret later on the back end.
Well, one of the things that we've since I got my smoker, because I've only had it now a year or two, but one of the things that we really like to do is find different bar mix stuff at different stores or whatever. Oh, this one's a little bit different, and oh, it's got a nice flavor. Wouldn't that be good with some smoke?
Oh, yeah.
And then dump that into the smoker, let it smoke for an hour and a half or so, and it's delicious. People love it.
Yeah.
And the one that really blew my mind the first time I had it, because I'd never even considered it, was the time that you brought the smoked Cheez-Its.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! Everybody loves smoked Cheez-Its. It's awesome.
Like next level awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just little. You don't even have to do something big. Just the little things like a Cheez-It or a mix or salt. Smoke some salt in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty
or
amazing
table salt.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the big stuff too. Like we've talked about in the previous shows where I've done turkeys, the full turkey, or brisket, which comes out amazing. And I mean, I don't think I could think of one thing that I have cooked in my smoker that people haven't loved.
Yeah.
I can't think of one thing.
I think, I'm sure there's certainly some people. I mean, I've showed up to a number of like the Mahania things with like here's chicken on a biscuit crackers, the Nature Valley granola bars.
Oh, yeah.
The Cheez-Its, the bacon. I can't remember. I thought I smoked something. And it's not for everybody. I'm sure there's
some people don't like smoke.
Don't like the smoke. And that's the thing about once you start getting a handle on your smoker, it's, you can light or heavy, the different types of woods. Once you start fine tuning, it's like, well, oak is too heavy for me, or mesquite is too much. But an apple or a peach wood,
Yeah. Or cherry wood.
right, adds like a very light or a mild, and then it's how deep, how deep you smoke it, kind of a thing.
Yeah. How long do you let it sit in that
until
smoke?
someone who's turned off by opening a Rubbermaid thing that's full, it just gets like a waft of like mesquite something, but a party mix that's made lightly instead of a Chex mix that's got all the butter in it. Well, then they may partake, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It allows you all kinds of variants.
Yeah. See, I even thought making a Chex mix to the point to where maybe you, how you typically would bake it, right? Bake it maybe halfway, and then the other half of it go into the smoker.
Yeah.
Because you're still dealing with some wet stuff,
Right.
And that smoke would really impart itself into the wet stuff.
Oh yeah.
And my wife and I were talking about that over the weekend because we actually picked a bunch of stuff that she wanted me to smoke. I haven't got a chance to do that yet. That's the other thing, is finding the time. But yeah, I'm always trying to think of different stuff now. And like I said, you kind of inspired that because it was, Nature Valley granola bar, stuff like that. I would have never thought to put that kind of a thing in the smoker.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because I haven't found anything where I pulled it out of the smoker and went, "Oh God, I shouldn't have smoked that."
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
I have not. I haven't run into anything. My dad brings he buys like the big 5-pound bag of unsalted roasted almonds, the Kirkland things.
Oh yeah.
And he'll bring
Are they
them,
raw or are they?
They're raw.
They're-
No, I don't know.
Are they roasted or are they
They're
raw?
roasted.
Okay.
Not salted.
Okay. Roasted, not salted.
And he's notorious for just leaving the bag on the counter when he stops by on Fridays.
I got something for you
and
to
he'll
do.
just be like, smoke those. Smoke them. Okay, all right.
He doesn't have a smoker?
He doesn't. And he has the wherewithal to get his own,
Right.
but prefers, I think, to just
Have it done.
pawn it off on me and my fancy smoker.
That's pretty funny.
So I'll put them in a colander, put them in there, and let them.
yeah.
I think they have a shorter shelf life because when they get the smoke on there, I think it dehydrates the nuts a little bit. But when you're, he uses it for the fiber, and like as a healthy snack along the way. You don't want to put those in salt. I'm sure his doctor with his blood pressure or whatever doesn't want him adding anything
Salt,
where he doesn't have to. But
it's a way of-
unflavored nut, it allows you to put something on there.
So they're not so plain.
So it's not so plain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't really. It would probably be very negligible how much material is imparted onto
particulates.
on the nut itself.
Yeah.
Could cause cancer.
Probably.
The state of California.
the carcinogens in the smoke and creosote probably is not good for you, but as long as you're not huffing your smoker element.
Dunking them in gasoline, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I really enjoyed. I mentioned in the last show for Thanksgiving that we did barbecue.
Right.
And the brisket that comes with the barbecue, the place that we had barbecue, is very good. Very good brisket. My father-in-law enjoys the brisket that comes out of my smoker more and myself as well, more than the brisket that came from a professional restaurant, because it has a smoke flavor to it, and it gets a crust on it, unlike the brisket that comes out of
the difference between
they're probably cooking it in
a mass cook
thing.
thing.
Yeah. So That I took that as a compliment. It was like, oh yeah, I like your brisket way better.
Yeah.
It's like, well, cool.
Yeah, when you do things like, I mean, the bacon, I'll smoke a bacon, smoke the meat when I'm making like a chili. Smoke a couple of the elements and then put them in there. Little things. Obviously, could you go to the grocery aisle and buy the liquid smoke? Sure.
Well, and most bacon that you buy at the store that has been smoked, or not most, but a lot of it is injected with liquid bacon.
Right.
It doesn't actually
liquid smoke.
Liquid bacon.
Liquid bacon.
Oh God!
Wow.
Oh,
we can make some of that.
Actually, you just pour the grease right out of the pan. No, but liquid smoke. They actually use liquid smoke instead of an actual smoking process.
Not a fan. Is it? Yeah, sure.
The more expensive bacon will have real smoking process.
Yeah.
But that's something to consider as well. And it doesn't taste quite as good. Definitely not.
If you're let's see, I'm trying to think let's see, sunflower seeds, peanuts, granola bars.
Shelled seeds, sunflower seeds? So you're
buying...
like
I took like a bag of David's barbecue flavored.
Oh, barbecue flavored.
Right.
And
David sunflower seeds, put them in the colander and then chuck them in there. I've done that. Tofu for the kids. Xander likes tofu, smoked tofu.
Oh, yeah.
Turkey. I've made my own summer sausage. That's awesome, too.
Okay.
Crackers of various types. If you're looking for a treat, the sriracha Cheez-Its.
Oh, really?
I almost bought a bag of... I meant to do it, but I eat the bag so fast. A bag of Cool Ranch.
Doritos?
Cool Ranch Doritos.
Smoke those?
I've been meaning to smoke those or the sweet, spicy chili Doritos and then put that on like a turkey sandwich and see what happens.
Oh.
So that's on the to-do list.
See, you're always doing stuff I hadn't thought of.
Yeah. It's countless other things. I mean, I'll if I have an opportunity to smoke something before I put it, especially like a soup or chili, smoke that, then render out or cook it without having to add like a liquid smoke.
Yeah.
I think it just adds an extra
layer. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
That is good stuff. I love that I can use my smoker and pull something out of there that ends up being delicious and everybody loves it.
Oh, yeah.
There's such a good feeling about that.
Does Shan like the smell? Like the smoke. Like if you here's where I'm going with that. So if I go out and this is Piper has inherited this, I think, from her mother. If I go out and stand next to the smoker and I get smoke on my, especially in sleeves as I'm going in and out of the smoker.
Sure.
So I've got like the smoke scent on my forearms, and then I go give my wife a hug. It's that same sort of like ambiance trigger, like a comfort thing.
Yeah.
Piper does that now too. So they both like the smell of smoke.
Shanna likes the smell, but can't be around the smoke itself.
Okay.
Because of her allergies.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a campfire.
Right. Can she do campfire though? As
She'll
long as she's not.
She'll hang
downwind.
Yes, yeah. She'll hang around one, but it will mess with her later. So like when
she was here,
yeah.
Did that hurt?
Nah, she was fine.
I was gonna say she's been here when we had a fire out back.
She enjoys sitting around a fire. Don't get her wrong.
Just got to watch the downwind.
Smoke, yeah, the smoke will really affect her, and so we're talking about putting a fireplace in our backyard or a fire pit,
right?
And I think we'll have to run LP gas. Yeah. We probably won't do natural gas. We'll probably do propane or something.
Mike and he has one.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Yeah, I want to do a built-in one in the ground, and like we'll just run a line from the side and have a tank to the side.
Yeah,
but because that's real clean. There's no that doesn't bother her at all.
Right.
But the smoke off the wood bugs her. But she loves the smoked food. She won't eat the meat, of course. She's vegetarian, but she loves anything smoked in the smoker. And then she won't hang around the smoker when I'm out there working or having to open it or whatever, because that will bug her a lot.
It would be interesting. I'm on the fly. I'm thinking of this now. Does she have a specific type of can of beans, like on a bean burrito, she likes? Try taking that and putting it in a bowl and smoke it.
She's
and
a refried bean girl.
Yeah. See what happens if you had like maybe some leftover from a Mexican place you guys go to, or if she has a particular brand can.
And smoke it. And
then smoke it in a bowl.
She likes to make tostadas, so we could smoke some beans for the tostada.
Just to see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I encourage anybody who's interested in smoking to give it a try. You don't have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the Little Chiefs are under, or get like a tinder box from and just try that.
Yeah.
And if you ever have any questions, I mean, both of us have, and I have vast experience in smoking.
You have a lot more experience than I do.
Smoking everything.
You've had yours a lot longer, and other smokers. So I was always wanted it, but never had gotten into it until more recently.
Yeah.
Which you were my inspiration for
smoked salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one too.
Yum.
Yeah. That's the only type of salmon
that you'll eat.
I like sashimi salmon,
right?
But I would rather have a smoked salmon.
Yeah.
I would all day.
Yeah.
Wheat thins and some smoked salmon. Done. Bury an entire fillet. Easy.
I haven't smoked any salmon because I'm the only person that would eat it, probably. I don't think Chandler would eat it.
Really? Shan wouldn't?
No, salmon.
Oh, meat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Just me.
Yeah. Brine that thing. Put it in there. Let it go. Oh, God. Smoked salmon.
I have no problem with
love
that.
It.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah. And if like Safe Mart or Rayleigh's or any of the grocery SPD up there in Grass Valley has like salmon on sale, I end up with it. My dad will just bring it down and be like, "Here,
it was on sale.
It was on sale.
Here you go.
What the fuck do you want me to do with it, Dad?"
Oh,
God damn! I think the last time he brought one down, it was all in the white butcher paper. And I knew that there was salmon in it. I thought it was just fillets, and it was like the whole fucking fish. Like, what am I doing? Okay, well,
so you had to butcher it?
I had to butcher the fucking fish myself. I'm like, you could have helped me out a little bit, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
And then usually, so his line is like, keep your cut, smoker's cut.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Keep it for you.
So next time he's just going to bring a fishing pole with a salmon on the end.
He could.
Here you go.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, what do you want me to do with this? Well, clean it and fillet it.
Me, Argonaut. I tried to smoke. He brought me some abalone one time to smoke, and it didn't make it.
Now, what do you mean by it didn't make it?
It went south. It went before I had a chance to smoke it.
Oh, the abalone went bad.
Yeah, the abalone went bad.
Abalone's delicious.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done tri-tip too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tri-tip.
Smoke all meat.
I could see abalone being good, though, if it was smoked.
Yeah.
If it's nice and tender.
Mm-hmm.
If it's already been pounded and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Right? No,
You're making me hungry. I had dinner already.
Now I'm hungry.
Wow. All right. Well, what do we got in time? How are we doing, Datas?
We're huge.
I think we're over.
We're over by a monstrous amount.
Yes, we are.
But it's the holidays, so we may be short an episode or something, maybe anyway.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Well,
but it was worth it.
Yeah.
I love talking about food.
If you got any thoughts on smoking, let us know. And not the cancer stick smoking, but smoking your food.
Yeah.
Let us know. If you smoke something we didn't mention, let us know.
Oh, yeah.
We'll try it. And we're going to scoot. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.